Nothing about the aftermath of the Great Dying is survivable. You think you escaped the extinction. You were wrong. You imagine life springing forth immediately. A green flush across scarred continents. A blue resurgence in warming seas. This narrative comforts the human mind. It suggests resilience. It suggests forgiveness from nature. The geological record screams otherwise. The Permian-Triassic boundary was a planetary reset button pushed into oblivion. 96% of all marine species ceased function. The air thinned. The surface boiled. You assume the survivors inherited a clean slate. They inherited the Induin Oven. 2 million years of environmental purgatory. The Earth does not forgive. It merely waits for the next configuration of chemistry. Look at the world 250 million years ago. Pangaea is a furnace. Land temperatures peak near 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Equatorial sea surface temperatures hover around 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Imagine swimming in that. Imagine your blood viscosity shifting. Imagine the structural integrity of your cellular membranes failing. This is not a summer heat wave. This is global cooking. The very atmosphere is compromised. Oxygen levels drop to 12%. Barely enough lift for complex combustion. Barely enough fuel for sustained muscle action. Life becomes a slow, desperate negotiation with entropy. This was the world engineered to deny rebound. A world designed for singularity. A biological anomaly became the foundation of the next age. But the true horror was not the heat. It was the architecture of survival. How did anything persist in that void? How did the lineage continue when the machinery of biology strained to function? The answer lies in a creature built not for progress, but for negation. The answer is the Lystrosaurus. A squat, pig-sized herbivore. It dominates the fossil record across continents. 95% of the terrestrial biomass, in some regions. This is not diversity. This is monopoly. We must look inside its chassis to understand this tyranny of one. We zoom into the internal configuration. The X-ray visualization reveals the heart of this survivor. The chest cavity is barrel-shaped. A massive reservoir. Its lungs are not optimized for efficiency. They are optimized for volume. A crude oxygen storage tank. Its nostrils are short, positioned far back in the skull. A system designed to gulp air fast, store it deep, and process toxins later. It is an oxygen gobbler. A biological mechanism built to subsist on near-toxic dilution. Its forelimbs and hind limbs are not built for swift locomotion. They are not built for speed. They are heavy-duty excavation equipment. Robust hydraulic pistons driving thick bones into the baked sediment. The Lystrosaurus does not graze. It mines the earth for roots and tubers. It burrows to escape the searing surface. Defense is instantaneous retreat beneath the scorch line. Its contemporaries fared worse. The pterocephalian, a distant cynodont cousin, struggles against the thermal load. Its internal mechanisms overheat. Its metabolism falters in the low oxygen wash. The archosauriforms, the ancestors of crocodiles and dinosaurs, are pushed to the margins. They are fragile. They lack the Lystrosaurus's built-in atmospheric buffering system. One creature mastered the new physics of a dead world. We look to the coastlines. The water is not blue. It is green, olive, and acidic brown soup. Sulfur bacteria bloom in the warm, anoxic layers. The elasmobranchii, primitive sharks, struggle to maintain osmotic balance in the acidic bath. Their ancient armor offers no defense against chemical corrosion. We see the Proterosuchidae, near the river mouths. Their elongated rostra, the snout, house recurved, serrated teeth. Primitive, yes. But terrifyingly functional. Their jaws operate like slicing, dicing saw blades, tearing at the few scraps available. These are not creatures seeking expansion. They are organisms clinging to the thread ends of metabolism. A slow, grinding consumption across a dying surface. This was the reality of the Induin epoch. 2 million years of biological stagnation under environmental siege. The kinetic energy of the planet itself became the primary antagonist. Above the furnace, the atmosphere churns. The temperature gradient is violent. This disparity fuels storms of an unimaginable scale. We call them hypercanes. Wind speeds do not peak at 180 miles per hour. They approach 970 kilometers per hour. Visualize the physics. A kinetic wave that scours the landscape bare. A planetary sanding tool operating on the continental scale. These systems tear across Pangaea. They churn the superocean. They strip the thin, toxic topsoil. You do not hear the wind in the traditional sense. You feel the atmospheric displacement. A physical hammer blow against any structure taller than a rodent. The low oxygen content dampens sound propagation across the vast, barren plains. Silence reigns. Broken only by the catastrophic roar of atmospheric disassembly. The environment demands specialized architecture. The few remaining temnospondyl amphibians, huge, crocodilian forms, must spend most of their lives submerged. Their thick, porous skin acts as a primitive radiator, dumping lethal excess heat into the lukewarm water. They are living heat sinks. They wait in the viscous brown depths. They endure the thermal inertia of the globe. They are biological patience personified. For 2 million years, this furnace held. Evolution moved in reverse, prioritizing tolerance over innovation. Life was defined by what it could withstand, not what it could achieve. The machinery of complexity was too slow. The planetary engine was too powerful. The Thrapsid lineage, those small reptile-like creatures, shrank. They became cryptic. They became shadows hiding beneath the Lystrosaurus herds, feeding on detritus. They waited for the planet to exhale. We observe this strange calibration. This deep, cold resilience. This is not the triumphant story of evolution. This is the story of geological trauma. The planet suffered a major system failure. The survivors were not the fittest in the competitive sense. They were the chemically most resistant. The organisms least reliant on atmospheric integrity. The Lystrosaurus, the dominant chassis of this age, offers us a grim parallel. It survived by becoming functionally alien to the flourishing ecosystems that preceded it. It abandoned the evolutionary arms race for a strategy of sheer endurance. It monopolized the only available niche, surviving the heat and breathing the thin air. It became the ecological baseline. Everything else was peripheral noise. We stand at the edge of geological time, observing this alien world. We see ecosystems reduced to their absolute functional minimum. We study this era because it provides the ultimate stress test for life itself. We apply our human metric of progress. We value speed, intelligence, competition, adaptation towards complexity. But here, complexity died. Resilience was measured in thickness of skin and tolerance for anaerobic stress. If survival requires 2 million years in an oven, breathing thin, poisonous air, constantly shielded from winds that break continents, what does that say about the conditions required for flourishing? What does that say about the supposed robustness of terrestrial biology? We define life by its vigor. The Induin Oven redefines life by its tenacity against absolute zero progress. The question remains, staring into the furnace. If the criteria for continuity is the ability to endure planetary self-immolation, are the creatures that survive the apocalypse truly winners? Or are they simply the last, most robust failures of a world that has already ended?